Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I hope you're all doing well. And today we're here with my July wrap up. Hey, it's another vlog style wrap up, my favorite to film, and you guys seem to love them as well. I'm so happy to be back. I think I might make this a monthly thing now. It's my favorite way to film wrap-ups for you guys. It makes them exciting for me. It allows me to talk about the books more in depth, and I just feel like it's a more well-rounded experience, really trying to discuss the books I read each month rather than getting to the end of the month and not really remembering what I read, what I thought about them, etc, etc. Doing them vlog style, I can sit down as soon as I finish a book and discuss my thoughts with you, and then next time I finish a book, I sit down and discuss my thoughts with you, and then I sit down and discuss my thoughts, etc, etc, until I've wrapped up every single book I've read, and it just makes it more kind of precise and accurate to what I was feeling at the time of finishing the book as well. So we're here on the 5th of July and I have finished my first book. I finished it on the 3rd of July. I kind of manifested it that I'm going to try and finish a book every 3 days this month, so hopefully you'll see me on the 3rd, the 6th, the 9th, the 12th, the 15th, the 18th, the 21st, the 24th, the 27th. I think I've lost track somewhere, but you get what I mean. I'm going to try and finish a book every 3 days. So I have finished my first book. I am coming a little bit late, but I have finished it, and that was A Sweet Mess by JC Lee, which was on my July TBR, although this book is fitting into a secret TBR vlog that should already be out by the time you're watching this, so I'll link up above and down below for you guys, but it's where I read 3 unknown books that BookTube don't really talk about. It's going to be called the Unknown Book Series, and I'm going to try and do more of these. A shout out to my boyfriend for thinking of the title and this kind of idea. It just kind of sparked me as soon as he said, just call it Unknown Books, and I was like, oh my god, I can make this a series, because I do tend to talk a lot about books that people haven't heard of before, so I thought this is a good way to kind of give you guys more book recommendations and for me to explore more books that kind of aren't popular on BookTube. So that's kind of the vlog. I'm going on a massive tangent, but the first book I did read was A Sweet Mess by JC Lee, which fitted into that vlog. So if you want my like immediate thoughts and feelings, go check out that vlog, because I filmed that vlog clip before I'm filming this one. But I gave it a 4 stars. I absolutely loved it. It was so good. It basically follows our main character Aubrey, who owns her own bakery in a very small town off the coast of California, and she's really well known in the town. Everyone goes there. It's called the comfort zone. It's where she feels most at home. And one day our secondary main character, because you get dual perspectives in this book, is Landon, and he is a famous food critic, and his car breaks down on the way to going to review a restaurant, and so he has to stop off at this town where Aubrey's bakery is, and he goes in, he strolls around, he goes into this bakery because it seems like the hustle and bustle of the town, it seems like the central focus of this town, and he gets given a cake that has peanut butter and jelly worms in it, and he's distraught. He's like, how can such a classic cake be so disastrous? I cannot believe this. He walks off in a hump. And yeah, then the same night, Landon and Aubrey kind of meet at the bar unexpectedly. They don't know who each other is. Landon doesn't know Aubrey is the owner of the bakery that he just went into, and Aubrey doesn't know that he is a famous food critic. So they have a one-night stand because they really hit it off. And then soon, when Landon has to review the bakery because he didn't get to the restaurant in time because his car broke down, he ends up having to review the bakery to give his readers in the weekly column a food review for that week, and he realizes it's the Aubrey that he slept with and has feelings for, and romance ensues. And if you love sexual tension, this book is for you. Oh my god, there was so much sexual tension in this book, and it just made the book so good. I can picture a vivid scene in it that I just got so hot under the collar. So good. There's no smut in this book. You get all the lead up, you get all the sexual tension up to the points of where they would go into smut, but JC Lee doesn't hit on smut specifically, but the sexual tension is there, and it's well worth the read just for that like scene. It was so good. I love the characters. I love the storyline. There's so much good food descriptions in this book, so have snacks by you when you read this book because it'll make you hungry. And yeah, overall I just really enjoyed it. I am definitely intrigued to read more of JC Lee's work, and the sequel to this book that follows Aubrey's best friend, who is one of the stars of the show in this book. She has a sequel coming out that follows her and Landon's brother, so I'm really excited to read it. I hope you enjoy this book. If you pick it up, let me know if you are intrigued to read it now, and yeah, I will see you hopefully in a couple of days when I finish my next book. Hi guys, I'm finally in with an update. I said I was gonna like update you every like 3 days, and I'm sorry to say that it's like the 13th of July and I haven't updated yet, but that is because I have been focusing pretty much all of my reading and filming energy on my ebook vlog. But anyway, the books I have finished since last updating you was The 2-Week Wait by Lucy C. Lewis, which I gave a 2.5 stars. This book wasn't for me. Basically, this book follows our 5 main characters. They're all females and they're all having infertility issues, and it basically follows them during the 2-week wait between ovulation and pregnancy, and kind of waiting out the anxious wait on a forum with other people that are going through the same thing as them, and then kind of all discussing their issues and stuff. I found this very dramatized. I've tried to find own voice reviewers, and the ones I have found do agree in that sense that it was very over dramatic and kind of not realistic to what actually happened during that wait. This was a NetGalley arc that I requested, so yeah, I've done that review. My ratio is now at like 78%, so I'm happy that that book is read. If you want my full thoughts, then you can go check out the ebook vlog that I spoke about earlier. I'll link up above and down below for you. And the last book I read that was part of the same vlog was Black Buck by Matteo Ascarapour. Love this book. I gave it a 4.5 stars. Really enjoyed this book. This book basically follows our main character Darren, aka Buck. Starts his career path as a coffee barista at Starbucks at the bottom of a tower block, and he's content with his life, he's happy with his life, he likes the balance between work and social, he's able to spend time with his mum and his girlfriend. But one day, the CEO of the company that owns the top floor of this tower block orders his regular coffee that he gets daily, and instead of Darren, at the time of the story, serving up the coffee he usually orders, sells him a alternative coffee, and the CEO who's called Rhett, clearly sees something in Darren and asks him to come up to the top of the tower block, see what the company's like, and kind of take him under his wing. However, this company at the top of the tower block is a tech startup company, and it's completely filled with white people. Darren, who then gets the nickname of Buck because he used to work at Starbucks, is the only black colleague there, and he gets a lot of racial slurs and racial abuse thrown at him. And Matteo Ascarapour actually kind of addresses in interviews that this book focuses on racial abuse in the workplace, which I obviously 100% agree with, and that is kind of like one of the main focal points and plot points of this story. I loved how Matteo Ascarapour wrote this book, the mix between self-help and fiction. Buck basically is writing this book in first person, two-person perspective. When he talks about himself, he is the author of the book, not Matteo. Matteo is not the author, Buck is the author. Obviously Matteo's writing it, but Buck is voicing it as the fact that he's the author, if that makes sense. And he kind of pulls you away from the story every now and again, being like, you need to highlight this point, this is a really good sales tip, remember this, highlight this. So he kind of talks to you, which is I think why the book kind of gets marketed as a self-help fiction book, because those bits are actually like decent facts that you can take away and then implement into your own life, which is the self-help section. And then obviously the rest of it obviously is a fictional story based on obviously serious issues that are currently happening in the world, like racial abuse in the workplace and just racial issues in general. So I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4.5. It didn't quite hit the 5-star mark, but really enjoyed it nevertheless, and highly recommend you guys check it out if you are interested in reading it, because I definitely think it's well worth the read. And then the book I'm currently in the middle of, another e-arc. This lovely lady DM'd me on Instagram asking if I was happy to review her book, her debut book, her first ever book that she spent 6 years writing. I, of course, as soon as I read the blurb and the words foster care came up. I don't know what it is about me, but I love books centering around foster care. I said, yes, of course, send me that e-arc. I want to read it. So I am reading it, and that book is Sleeping Around by Morgan Vega. She is a fellow booktuber, so I'll link her channel down below for you guys if you want to go check out her content. But this book comes out on the 3rd of August, so she's kind of asked a group of us to review it, and we're going to get our reviews up before the official release date. So look out on my Instagram, because I will be posting a review of the book there as well. And also you'll be seeing that review before you see this video. So go check out my Instagram. It's always linked down in the description. But really enjoying this book. This book basically follows our main character, Corey. Wow. This book basically follows our main character, Corey, who has spent the last 18 years of her life in foster care, sleeping in 11 different beds, never having a permanent home and never having a permanent bed, and always kind of feeling out of place. She then gets the chance to go off to college and finally have this permanent bed, this permanent residency that she's kind of never had stable in her life. However, when she rocks up, she is meant to be on the music program because she is a very talented violin player. And unfortunately that there's been miscommunication and she doesn't have a stable bed. So she meets a character called Emma who offers to kind of share her room with her until her sleeping situation gets sorted. Obviously Corey by this point is very disheartened because she thought college was going to be her fresh start. It was going to be kind of her way out of the foster care system. She was going to finally have this permanent place that she can call home for 4 years. So when she isn't kind of accepted onto the music program like she thought she was, and therefore she doesn't have a bed in kind of like the music kind of residency halls called Harmony Hall, she feels really, really disheartened. But Emma becomes a really close friend in this story, and Corey starts to kind of pick up her feet again and navigate her way through college. I'm really, really enjoying this. This book is only 250-ish pages and I'm coming up to the 130 page mark. So I'm over halfway through. I can't do maths, but I'm getting there and I'm hoping to actually finish it today, which will kind of hopefully get me back on track because I am falling behind on my manifestation of finishing a book every 3 days. But I'm really enjoying this. So thank you, Morgan, for allowing me to read an early copy of your book. The writing is so good. I'm really, really enjoying it. So hopefully I'll come back in with an update soon regarding that book. But yeah, really enjoying it so far, hoping to smash it today. Hi guys, it is now the 21st of July. I've been so bad at updating this vlog, but we're here nevertheless. I have finished my 5th book and my first physical book of, I was gonna say 2021 then, of July 2021. Billy and Me by Giovanna Fletcher. This is the 3rd time I've read this book. This is the book that got me into reading. If you are new to my channel, hi, I'm obsessed with this book. I feel like the book that everyone knows me for. This is the book pick for my first month of my book club, Books and Me. If you want to have more information on that book club, I'll leave the announcement video up above and down below. You can join the rest of the months if you so wish to. But this book basically follows our main character, Sophie, who works at a tea shop on the hill in a very, very quaint English town, and nothing really happens there. So when a film crew decides to film an adaptation of Pride and Prejudice there, one of Sophie's favourite books, she isn't really in that sort of showbiz bubble. So when Billy, our other main character and also the main actor of this adaptation, walks into the tea shop, she has no idea who she is, but she gets swept off her feet by him and they end up in kind of like a relationship, and it's all about their relationship throughout this book. I adore this relationship. Yes, I love it, but the star of the show is Sophie and Molly's relationship. Molly is the character who runs the tea shop, and Molly and Sophie have a really, really nice bond, and I absolutely love those two together, and I think that's kind of why I love this book so much. I also feel like I really connect to Sophie as a main character. I used to date an actor myself. Not a great relationship. I have now left that relationship and I'm in a very, very happy and healthy relationship, but I kind of see where Sophie's coming from a lot in this book due to my past experiences in that said relationship, and it's just nice to know that my feelings and my thoughts are justified in the way that Sophie also deals with those situations. And I just see so much of my past self in Sophie. It's the reason why I love books so much is this book, and thanks to Giovanna Fletcher for like introducing me to the world of like contemporary adult and reading and all that sort of stuff. So this book holds a major like special place in my heart. So of course I gave it 5 stars. I did tab it all up to make it nice and pretty of all my favorite things, and as I was going through I realized the more and more I tabbed, the more and more it was just tabbing Sophie and Molly's relationship and less of Sophie and Billy's relationship. So I think as I've grown older, and I've reread this a few times now, when I first read it, I loved Billy and Sophie's relationship, and I thought Sophie and Molly's relationship was like a side thing. And then reading it for the 3rd time now, Sophie and Molly's relationship took the forefront for me, and I just adore that relationship. And Sophie and Billy was like a side thing. So I love how I've kind of grown with this book, and I can see different things in this book the more I read it, and kind of the older I get sort of thing. I do realise there are some issues in this book, and there's also trigger warnings for depression and grief. Sophie's mum does go through a little spell of depression, which is briefly mentioned due to past experiences in their lives, but nothing too heavily addressed, but it is there just in case. I wanted to shout it out. But yeah, overall I love this book. I just love the comfort vibes it brings me, and I do really enjoy this book, so I gave it 5 stars, but I think that's more down to nostalgic value now rather than the actual quality of the writing and the plot line. But yeah, it has to be a 5 stars. It's the book that got me into reading. Hi guys, it is now the 29th of July and I'm just coming in with an update. I haven't done very well at keeping up with this vlog simultaneously with my weekly vlog. So when I weekly vlog, I won't be doing vlog style wrap-ups, which makes me so sad because I love doing vlog style wrap-ups so much, but I think I prefer doing weekly vlogs. in comparison. Like, I think I prefer doing weekly vlogs over vlog style wrap-ups. So vlog style wrap-ups, maybe taking a break, we'll see. I may be able to try and figure out a kind of balance, but at the minute, because I update my vlogs, my weekly vlogs, when I finish a book, I then forget to update my vlog style wrap-up video. So it's all kind of a learning curve, so I hope this video isn't too chaotic, but I have finished A Man Called Uwe by Frederick Buckman. I adored this book so much. I gave it a whopping 5 stars. Uwe was just incredible. Basically it follows a old man who has lost his wife, and he lives in a very small neighborhood, and he's kind of he comes across as a very grumpy old man, quite antisocial, but really he has such a big heart, and that kind of starts to open up across the story, and you start to see and understand why Ove is the way he is, with having lost his wife and like the trauma and stuff he's had after it. Trigger warning so for attempted suicide in this, because Uwe does kind of really struggle with the fact that his wife is no longer with him. But the neighborhood starts to come together and really support him in a way that I don't think he would have realized. And every time he goes to attempt suicide, something prevents him from doing so, and eventually he realizes there's more to life, and the neighborhood does really rally together, and it's such a heartwarming story. I fell in love with the way Frederick Buckman wrote Uwe. He wrote him in a way where the reader, as a reader, you found him so lovable. There's nothing wrong with him, but as the neighborhood and the neighbors, you can see why he would be classed as like grumpy and antisocial, and I think that was such a clever balance that Frederick Buckman was able to do. I love Frederick Buckman. He is one of class him as one of my favourite authors. I had a little bit of a blip with Beartown. I didn't love that book, but I have loved the other books I have read from him. So 4 out of the 3 books I have read by him have got a 5 stars. So A Man Called Uwe has got 5 stars, Anxious People has got 5 stars, as well as Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer has 5 stars. So Frederick Buckman is definitely going in my favourite authors of all time, and I think this one is now my favourite book of his. I don't count Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer as a book because it is literally like 79 pages. So it was between Anxious People and A Man Called Uwe, and this one has taken top spot. I absolutely adored this book. I tabbed it all up with all my favourite things, and it's just the amount of connections and the links and where he started in the story to where he was by the end. Like, this book was perfect. I absolutely adored it. So yeah, this is a book that I have recently finished. I can't remember days. I can't separate days from weeks and dates when I finish books and books I'm currently reading. Like, it's all a bit of a mess, I'm not gonna lie. 1 second. I'm currently also reading The Falling in Love Montage by Kira Smith. This is a buddy read. I'm really enjoying this one as well. It's a YA about our main character who is a lesbian, and she has only really ever kissed girls who are like experimenting, is the way that the character says, because she doesn't want to get any attachments. She's having a really difficult home life. Her mum is in a care home because she has early onset dementia, and his dad has divorced her mum because he's found someone else and they're getting married, and our main character really doesn't like the new wife. So she's having a really difficult home life. During the summer, when she meets a girl called Ruby, and they create a falling in love montage, so like the best bits of a movie, like the frolicking, the paddle boating, the movie under the stars, they create all of this and they say no strings attached, let's just make a really fun lesbian version of the classic rom-com. And it's a really good book so far. I really enjoy the writing style. I love Ruby as a main character, I love our main character, and I also love Oliver, who's Ruby's cousin, and that's where Ruby is staying for the summer because she is from London, and I think our main character is from Northern Ireland. So yeah, really enjoying it, but what I love most about it is the family dynamic. I don't love about YA, and I think is why I'm growing out of it, is the fact that a lot of YA rom-com contemporaries in general don't focus on the family, but I think it's so important to focus on family because family is such an important aspect of a lot of people's lives when they're growing up. And I just don't like the fact that YA just kind of skims over that and just focuses on the love interest and the love story. Whereas with this book, the family is such a key element, and I think that's why I'm loving it so much. So I'm on page 227 and it's 383 pages. I'm hoping to get I would love to get all of this done today, but I don't think that's possible, seeing as it is coming up to 5 o'clock in the evening, and I still need to read one more book left on my TBR because I filmed my TBR game today, and I said that I completed all my prompts. So I definitely need to read the last book, which is Olive by Emma Gannon, and I have until Saturday. So fingers crossed for me. I'll probably just update now one more time once I finish this book as well as Olive. But yeah, So far, so good for this one. Hi guys, I'm just here to wrap up this vlog style wrap up. I am sorry that this video is kind of all a bit chaotic, but I just, like I said in the previous clip, I am finding it very difficult to balance filming weekly reading vlogs alongside filming vlog style wrap ups. So I do think these are going to be on hold for a while. I managed to finish The Falling in Love Montage by Kira Smith, which I gave a 4 stars. I really enjoyed this book in the end. I loved the family dynamic. I loved the sapphic relationship. I thought the writing was really well done. And it was just a really cute read, and I do highly recommend it if you're looking for something YA that focuses around family, that isn't all about the romance, but does have a really good romance in it as well. I think the balance was really well done. So I read that, 4 stars. And then I did finish Olive in 2 days by Emma Gannon. This has easily become one of my favourite books of all time, and I'm trying to push it into many hands as possible. And I've had a lot of Instagram messages recently being like, I picked this up on Rachel's like recommendations. So if you've done that, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this book, but this is definitely one of my favourite books of all time. If you want to see my full thoughts, then you can go and watch my last weekly reading vlog where I read A Man Called Uwe, The Falling in Love Montage, and Olive, and I just had one of the best reading weeks of my life. 2 5 stars and a really good 4 stars. So I recommend going to check that out if you want all my in-depth thoughts and feelings. But if you didn't know, and I feel like I'm going to rave about this book so much now, but this book basically follows our main character, Olive. She has a really close-knit group of friends that have gone through everything together. They're so in sync. They never think they're going to kind of like fall apart. But when they get to a crossroads in their life and they're kind of turning 30 and all of Olive's friends are settling down and moving to the suburbs, getting married, having kids, Olive just feels really stuck. She can't pick a direction. She's just broken up with her long-term boyfriend of 9 years because he wants kids now and she still doesn't feel ready. And by doing this, she realizes that she never wants kids. So she's just really stuck. She doesn't know what she wants to do. She wants to support her friends in what they're doing, but at the same time, she feels really left behind. And I love this exploration in how Emma Gannon writes about how society's pressure of having kids really gets down on Olive, and that it's okay that you don't kind of conform to society and you do what makes you happy at the end of the day. And I think this book is so well told in that aspect, and I just really enjoy it. Olive is a great main character. She learns a lot along the way, and she has a great character arc, and I just absolutely adore this book, and I will probably end up rereading it every year now because it's definitely taken the top spot in my favourite books of all time. So there we have it. That was my July wrap up. I just want to like recap which books I did actually read in July because this video is a little bit chaotic. So I started off the month by reading A Sweet Mess by J.C. Lee, which I gave a 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I think it's a great romance if you like sexual tension, because the sexual tension in this book is on point. I then read The 2 Week Wait, and I didn't love this book as much. I gave it a 2.5 stars. I don't think the subject matter was very accurate. It basically follows a woman in the 2-week wait between ovulation and pregnancy. Then we read Black Buck by Matteo Ascarapour. Absolutely adored this book. So close to a 5 stars, but I gave it a 4.5. Then I read a e-arc for Morgan Vega's brand new debut release called Sleeping Around, which basically follows our main character Corey, who has always grown up in foster care, so she thinks college is going to be the place that she finally finds a permanent bed, and unfortunately that isn't the case, and she ends up sleeping around campus. And I thought this book was really well done as well. I gave it a 3.5 stars. Then I read Billy and Me, the book that got me into reading. This is the 3rd time I've read it now, and the more I read it, the more I do find issues with it. But for nostalgia value for me, the fact that it got me into reading and kind of made me discover the contemporary genre, and it wasn't a book that was spoken about on BookTube, and at that point I was all sucked into the fantasy and sci-fi that was discussed on BookTube. This book just has such a special place in my heart because it drew me to contemporary, and that's probably why I'm the reader that I am today. So of course this book got a 5 stars, but that was the first book pick choice of my book club. So we have a whole live show discussion about that book. So if you want to check out my full thoughts, then I highly recommend checking out that live show. It's still on my channel, so I'll link it down below for you guys. And then I read A Man Called Ove, which is one of my new favourite books of all time, much like Olive. And I just absolutely adore this book. So good. I won't go into too much depth because I have just recently spoken about it in this vlog. Then we read The Falling in Love Montage, and we also read Olive by Emma Gannon. So this month has been actually a really good reading month, reading wise and rating wise. I'm really happy with what I read this month. Let me know what you read in July. What was your favourite book? Did you discover any new favourite books of like all time? Did you discover a new favourite author? I would love to chat to you down in the comments down below, so make sure you leave your thoughts and feelings. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a massive thumbs up. Subscribe down below to see future content from me. I do anything from these vlog style wrap ups, fingers crossed, in the future. Book hauls, reading vlogs, themed reading vlogs, fun TBR games, and anything else your bookish heart could desire. And also make sure you're subscribed so you never miss a thing. And without further ado, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.